Hi guys, Get You 64 here, and today I'm not going to do a review for Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3. I'm not going to do it. I might do it later, but right now I just want to talk about the end. Sorry, I'm starting to get worked up and I just started the video. Look, I slept on this a couple days. Right now it's Tuesday. It's been a couple days since the episode. Now, I will say, when I watched the episode, I loved it. I still think it is a very good episode. Yes, it's dark at times. I totally understand that, and it has some problems for sure. The main thing is the hype. This thing was hyped up so much that there was really no way it could live up to it. We waited like 2 years for this season, 2 years for 6 episodes, and this specific episode was hyped up as like the Helm's Deep. This is the biggest battle in TV history. Blah, 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 blah. It took 55 days to film and this, that, and the other thing. It's the final confrontation with the White Walkers. It was hyped up a lot. So it not living up to it is not really too big of a surprise. I still think it's a very good episode overall. The real problem I have, I have problems with the episode, which I might do a review later, but right now, let's talk about the ending. The ending, how the Night King is defeated, is the most frustrating thing in Game of Thrones ever. It's one of the most frustrating things I've ever felt in regards to a television show. Arya taking out the Night King is the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing. I can't. All right. I'm back. Okay. So, Arya taking out the Night King. Here's the thing. Most people who are angry with this episode, they're either disappointed because it was hyped up. I understand that. The other thing they're disappointed in is that Arya killed the Night King. Look. All right, I understand why everybody's angry with this episode. Now, I do not hate this episode. I think there's a lot of gray area. I understand why people dislike it. I understand why people love it. Overall, I think it's a good episode. It has its problems. Like I said, I'll do a review later. But the real thing is Arya killing the Night King. Some people are pissed that the Night King was taken out in one episode. I'm not shocked about that. I'm not surprised about that. Obviously, that was going to happen. If it wasn't going to happen in this episode, it'd have to happen in the next one. There's not a lot of episodes left. So for people who thought that the Night King was going to stick around till the end of the show, I don't know what you were thinking, because that was obviously not going to happen. I'm of the mind that in the first couple seasons, when they were basing it off the books, it was about this political Game of Thrones. But that's not what the show became. The last 4 to 5 seasons have been about the White Walkers and the Night King and how that's the real threat and that all that other stuff doesn't matter, that everybody's have to come together and take out the White Walkers. Okay? That was what was most important. They've done that for seasons now. They've said that's the most important thing. Here we are halfway through the season. Night King's dead. Fine. Whatever. The whole point of having the White Walkers and the Night King be the big bad and the big point of the show, that's obviously out the window. I can accept that. That's fine. If they want to focus on Cersei and whatever, I don't see how that's supposed to live up to the Long Night. I don't understand how that's supposed to be as big a threat as the rest. But I understand why they went in that direction, because they want to focus on the Game of Thrones. Not the way I would take it, but okay, that's fine. I accept it. But what I don't accept is that you spent all this entire show, Jon Snow joined the Night's Watch, and he first encountered the White Walker in season 1. The rest of his entire journey was basically about defending the wall, finding out who the White Walkers are, finding out the Night King, trying to unite people to take out the Night King and the White Walkers. That's his entire character arc. That's what he's been doing. He's even brought back to life in order to save everyone. Now, you could argue that the whole reason that happened is he did do that. He united everybody, brought Daenerys and everybody else united them, and without him, everybody would not have come together and they would not have defeated the Night King. That's a fine argument. Here's the real problem. The Night King and Jon have been hyped up as these two forces that are going to have to come together and fight, okay? We didn't get that. We got Jon Snow on the back of a dragon in a blizzard. You could hardly see anything. It looked like you were on a green screen most of the time. Obviously he was, but it's not supposed to look like that. And he falls off. He's going to go to the Night King. Night King raises the dead. That scene was awesome. That could have been the fight scene. Him trying to get to Night King and stopping him right before he's about to raise the dead. It didn't end there. It kept going. Okay. That's fine. Night King takes off. Jon Snow survives. Blah, blah, it all happens. Jon Snow takes off after him, right? He's run through the courtyard. There's a dragon. Holy crap. There's a dragon. What's he going to have to do now? He hides. I don't have a problem with that. Obviously, he can't defeat the dragon. But what if he did defeat the dragon? What if he cut off its head just like the fell beast in Lord of the Rings? That could be a thing. How about you just don't have the dragon there? Have Jon Snow make it to the Godswoods right as Theon is dying, right when he gets killed. He can't do anything to stop it. All the White Walkers have been on the forest, on their horses. We haven't seen them fight anybody at all this entire episode. They didn't fight anybody. They didn't do anything. That makes strategical sense for the Night King, because if you kill one, all the White Walkers die. So he hides them off in the woods. Okay. So you finally see them. They're in the Godswoods around the Night King. What if Jon Snow made it to the Godswoods? Theon's about to die, or dies right in front of Jon Snow. Jon Snow has to fight the White Walkers in order to get to the Night King, okay? He actually gets in a sword fight with the White Walkers, a bunch of them. Not the zombie White Walkers, the actual White Walkers. And that's because Jon Snow is one of the best swordsmen alive right now in Game of Thrones. He didn't sword fight at all in this entire episode. No, attacking ice zombies doesn't count. They're not swordsmen. He's just hacking at them just like everybody else is. They're just a matter of numbers. It's not sword fighting. So how about having him actually fight the White Walkers? How about he kills a couple? It looks hopeless. He can't get to the Night King before Night King's about to kill Bran. Then you can have Arya come in and kill him. Fine, that'd be the best for everybody. Everybody gets something. But no, you get Jon Snow hiding and then screaming at a dragon. Jon Snow's character arc is done. Where's that? Look at this. Jon Snow, done. It doesn't matter. His character doesn't matter. His entire purpose was to defeat the Night King and the White Walkers. Did he do it as a byproduct? Yes. Arya has nothing to do with the Night King. She never met him. She doesn't even know what he looks like until she went to go stab him in the back. That's how she found out who he was. She never saw him. She had nothing to do with the White Walkers. She didn't even know the White Walkers existed until the last season. Meanwhile, Jon Snow has spent the entire show warning about them, fighting them, knowing about them. And he's not even there for the end of the Night King. He's off screaming at a dragon, trapped in a courtyard. He didn't do anything pretty much the whole episode. So Jon Snow's big build-up here was to do nothing. Meanwhile, also Daenerys. Both of these there was a big argument whether Daenerys or Jon Snow was going to be the prince who was promised, but it doesn't matter. The prophecy doesn't matter. That's a whole side plot. I don't really care about that. That's fine. Like I said, Arya killing the Night King is okay. Jon Snow not getting a fight with the Night King is frustrating. Jon Snow not even being there when the Night King is killed is just unforgivable. It ruins this episode. It's so frustrating to watch, I'm so irritated. That's how I would fix it. Have Jon Snow fight the White Walkers trying to get to the Night King. That would have built up a lot more tension than just the Night King slowly walking towards Bran, smirking and whatever. And Bran didn't do anything the whole episode anyway. What was he even doing? He was just warging in the crows and watching it. There's been jokes that he's gone off watching Endgame. That sounds more interesting than what he did. He didn't do anything. I need another drink. So obviously I'm upset. Anybody who's watched my previous 2 Game of Thrones videos, I've been extremely positive so far this season. I liked the last episode. Last episode, people were complaining nothing happened. That was a better episode than this. Why? Because the end of this episode spits in the face of the entire show. The entire show. It's the same reason people can't watch Lost. Lost was a great show. There's no point in going back and watching it because the end was so terrible. If you cannot stick to finish at the end, what's the point? What's the point? You can't go back and watch it because you know how it ends, and how it ends is you hate it. Again, I'm not saying this episode is bad. I actually like this episode. It's didn't live up to the hype. I mean, I'd give it, if you exclude the ending that I hated, I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. That's the least score. That's a lot less than the last episode. It has a lot of problems. Like I said, I won't get into this. I really just wanted to talk about the ending. Jon Snow getting shafted. I'm so frustrated that they had Arya do this. Like, she already had over half the episode to herself. Half the episode was screen time for Arya. Jon Snow and Daenerys, who were brought in to defeat the Night King, did almost nothing. They flew around in a blizzard. They couldn't see anything, and neither could the audience. All right, guys. Sorry for the rant. This isn't normally what I do in a video. Obviously, I didn't write anything down. I just wanted to get in front of the screen and yell about Jon Snow getting shafted. So mission accomplished, I guess. Maybe I'll do a full episode review. I feel like I need to, just to be a completionist with my actual episode reviews. Yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think about it? I've got a lot of different opinions. I talked to a lot of people I know. And also, I've made comments on multiple videos just to see how people react to my thoughts on this. And it seems like it's pretty split. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in the I hate this episode camp, but I'm definitely in the I don't like the way this ended because of the impact it has on everything else. As a self-contained story, having Arya kill the Night King is fine. But when you put it in context, the entire show, which is the whole purpose of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is always supposed to be just a long, story, a long movie. Everything ties in together. Everything has to be. You can't just pick out one random episode and watch it. They're not self-contained stories. If you judge this as a self-contained, battle or story, it's great. But if you put it in context, it's terrible because of what it does to the characters. Not to mention the whole fact that hardly anybody died. Everybody has plot armor. If you don't know what plot armor is, plot armor means that either the writers care so much about these characters that they won't kill them off, or that they're somehow important to the plot and therefore they can't die. And at this point, a lot of these characters are fan favorites, so none of the writers have the balls to kill them off. Many of these characters, their story arcs basically ended, and they should have culminated in them dying in this to show the gravity of what's happening. Instead, you just have a bunch of red shirts dying and a handful of characters, most of which are very minor characters. So, I don't know. What did you guys think about this? What did you think about Jon Snow getting shafted? Were you okay with Arya killing him? Did that not even bother you? Does me even putting it into context make you think about it? I'm not trying to make anybody hate this episode. I'm really, really not. I wanted to point out how it could have been better, and it wasn't. It's not terrible, but the ending is terrible. Oh, God. Okay. Thank you guys for sticking around with me on this rant video. And again, comment below. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geechu64, and I'll always tell you the truth.